Hello, this is Latin video number 2, leading into Latin assignment number 2. As a reminder, all of these Latin assignments are extra credit. You're not required to do them, but if you are going to do them, you're required to do them in order. So you have to start with number 1, then do number 2, etc. And you can only get credit for 1 a week. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Here we go. In this video, which will be probably fairly short, we're going to look at some of the differences between Latin and English. Those differences are important as well as instructive. Differences between Latin and English. Very good. All right, so difference number 1. Difference 1. Latin has no articles. No a, an, or the in Latin. Okay. This means that round about probably less than 4, when you start translating short Latin sentences into English, you're going to have to add articles to those sentences in most cases, so that your sentences sound right in English. And then the question arises, which article do I use? And the answer is you use whichever one seems to make the most sense, right? So for example, the Latin word athleta means athlete. Okay, in the sentence athleta est, robustus, right? If I translate this into English literally, I get athlete is strong, which doesn't really work in English. I have to add an article. I can put an athlete is strong. That's one way to do it. Or I could put the athlete is strong, depending on the context, or in this case, since it's just a sentence all by itself with no context, whatever I feel like doing. Okay, so that's difference number 1. No articles, gotta add them. Gotta add them. Difference number 2. Latin is an inflected language. This means that nouns and adjectives in Latin have a gender. This is not true in English most of the time, at least. Some English nouns obviously have a gender, like the noun man would be masculine, right? But in many cases, that just doesn't work. And English adjectives don't really have genders, right? So what this means is that in Latin, every noun and adjective is either feminine, masculine, or neuter, which means not feminine or masculine. And the important thing that we need to keep in mind with this is that the ancient Romans are not saying that every noun and adjective is either a boy or a girl or none of the above. It's not what they're saying. This is a grammatical classification, okay? And then that's all it is. So the Roman word for kitchen is kulina, which is feminine. Kitchens are not feminine. They're not masculine. They're kitchens, right? So keep that in mind. Now, we won't get into that just yet. We'll get into that later. Okay, cool. So forget I was going to say that, right? Now, when we talk about Latin nouns, and then this isn't, some of this isn't really a difference, but some of it is, right? Every Latin noun, and by extension adjective, because adjectives go with nouns and they kind of follow the same rules, most of the time at least, every Latin noun has number. This is singular or plural. That's the same as in English, right? A case, And this is how it is used in the sentence, right? Its function in a sentence. And then thirdly, and a declension. And then this is different than English, right? English doesn't have declensions. And a declension is a group of nouns classified grammatically. Okay, and then how do we tell which declension a noun goes with? We tell by the ending of the noun, right? A noun's declension is determined. Oops, had a little bit of a glitch there. Is determined by the noun's ending. So, for the nouns that you're looking at right now, we're dealing with only the first and second declensions. First declension, all feminine, all end with a, with just the a, right? All for as in galena, the Latin word for chicken, right? For example, galena. In the nominative, which means subject singular. So the nominative is the case, singular only. So galena is one chicken, and that one chicken is the subject of a sentence. Okay. Second declension, which I forgot how to spell declension, is all masculine or neuter. Okay, all masculine or neuter. Masculine ends with us, usually. That's an important qualifier here. Usually, some nouns break the rules, right? And neuter ends with and again, this is in the nominative singular only. When we get to nominative plural, the endings change. When we start talking about the accusative case, which are nouns being used as a direct object, or in some cases the object of certain prepositions, the endings change. Okay. Anyways, that's the basics of the differences between English and Latin. There's certainly some others, but this is all you need to know for right now. Now, if you're interested in continuing with this extra credit, in the resources folder where you found the link to this video, there is a Latin 2 assignment that you can download and print. It's 4 pages because there's a lot of pictures. And it's very similar to the last one in that you're attempting to correctly translate each Latin word into its English meaning. And please remember, spelling matters on this. So pay attention to your spelling, please. That's it for this video, and I will see you next time I see you. That makes sense, right?